Hello and welcome back to Space Engineers. My name is Rabenschild. Yesterday I did a bit of a live stream and we finally finished, not with too good of means, but we finished the scenario, the learning to survive scenario. I was so done with it. And then we went all out, mods spawning in stuff, and we got them. Oh, it was even with all this, the last fight was a bit of a, it was really strenuous. It's the scenario is good, but it is nothing for me, and you have to, in my opinion, bring time with. So you have to really spend time with it if you want to finish it without the help of anything, just with the game. So factor that in. Good. And then after that we went into the world. I wanted to close out the stream with a bit of just sitting down and talking to the people, but then we got into work again. I wanted to try the badger mole. By the way, you see the start of a mining rig back there. It's just at the moment the rolling chassis, nothing more. We'll get into that later. I wanted to get to this. I wanted to test the badger mole MK2. That's vehicle, a rover from the workshop. But blueprinting this in is problematic because the blueprint will only display the biggest part of the whole thing. And so that's what we got out of it. So it gave us the wheels and it gave us the rotor head, but it didn't give us all the parts we need. And so we got into that, and people did suggest some things. And so we tried out how we could maybe solve that, because I like the design and I like the idea of that thing, so that I maybe want to test it out and see if we can put this thing, the idea of this thing, onto maybe the big rig, but that's a thing we will see later. Good. So what we came up with is to release all these parts from their rotors, basically, and then put them onto merge blocks that are connected to the whole blueprint. So I changed a few things when this thing was built. It was connected back here and everything was connected to this middle section here. And again, with that we could preserve all the parts and hopefully can back the whole thing has some, let's get into that, has some groups in here that we hopefully can preserve with this. So that's what I want to try. And what we need to do now is we need to assemble everything back. The only thing that I didn't do was keep the drills that were on the ends of these pistons, because I have the feeling that the drill will not be the problem here. So I wanted to keep all this stuff, so the cameras, and again I wanted to keep the groups together so we can work with that. I modified the follow drone a bit. it's just we had a lot of success with the overpowered grav thrusters yesterday, and I wanted to keep this success up with using them here and seeing that these small thrusters have a lot of power. They take a bit more energy, but they have so much more power than anything else. And so we will use this thing to... That's a message that I don't want to get anymore, because we have enough power on this whole thing, and that it says no fuel must be a bug. It didn't do that before all a lot, when I had just batteries and solar panels on here. So there is something up with the whole energy system. And when we think about the fact that at the moment the whole thing with the hydrogen generators seems to be still something that makes problems. I'm not really happy to hear that. Good. What I want to do is lower first. I want to lower down the main rotor head into its position. Let me remove some of these things. Yesterday we had real problems with getting everything together and catching all the parts and all these things. It was a struggle, well worth to see if you want to go through a 5-hour stream that I've done yesterday. Good, let us lower this down and then reconnect it. That should work. Now we need to attach that again. And then see if that works. Advanced rotor azimuth. Attach. Oh, come on. Come on. No. This is just awful physics. Come on. Hate that. I hate that this happens, and I don't know why. It's the physics borking out. I know, but this is just not necessary. Absolutely not necessary. Okay, let us see if we can pick it up and then bring it up to where we want it to be. At least it seems that we didn't get too much damage. The last time I tried stuff with this thing, the whole thing really exploded in itself and flipped around, and it destroyed itself, kind of. Okay, now get down, and now we might be able to ride it again. No, the problem will be that we now have to do this 2 times more, and hopefully nothing explodes. Good. Okay, let me attach this thing. And then hopefully, maybe it's the weight of the thing and the thrusters themselves. The thrusters are so powerful that basically if you run into physics issues, see the whole thing lifts up because the thrusters just can do that. And we see that it might be subgrids, the whole subgrids moving when attached, all this stuff. It might be that thing that that makes problems there, that we here run into something similar than what we had with the big flying base, that when a ship got attached to it borked out the physics, and then the whole ship lifted. So we will drop that thing immediately, drop these parts, get rid of this, and then when we reattach it, we might have to really immediately drop it, kind of. Okay, now get into that. We will attach the drills after we are done with this. This part is a lot lighter, so maybe advanced rotor elevation. Attach. Did that work? No, this didn't work. Then it must be this thing. It is. Okay, that's a lighter part, so the reaction was not so immediate and not so violent. So it's, but you can see how powerful these thrusters are. With just 2 batteries, we can lift up the whole thing here. I don't have an... Oh, I know where our problem could be. Let me try if we can fix something like that. Let me see. We don't have an up thruster. So we have, or do we have an up thruster? We have. So that is not our problem. Good, then I can just hop back in and do the whole thing again. Okay, I know what exploded. There was an ore detector up there, but an ore detector should be no problem. We'll just attach another one. Oh man. It sounds so dumb because this is kind of a challenge. It's not something that I like to do. The whole problem with the physics not reacting as they should and being in its reaction sometimes just too violent. Not too happy about that. Okay. That gets picked up. Now, let us see that we can hopefully... No! That we hopefully are able to attach this. Maybe a bit... Just a bit to the side. If that works after this, I'm really happy. It was this one. Okay, that works. Get out. Remove this. Ooh, okay. Okay. Now, be careful. Be careful. Let me fly that back and sit that down so it can reload. And now we get out. You might notice some cuts. I'm trying to shorten the length of the recordings a bit. So the singular recordings, I'm trying to keep them in check a bit. I had the last YouTube or the last video I did. It seems there was just a tidbit of a desync issue when it comes to sound, and that's something that I might want to keep in check. Good, let us go for drills. We have so many weird noises at the moment here. I'm living relatively close to an industrial, so a commercial zone kind of. There's a lot of logistics centers and all that stuff. Yesterday something happened and it sounded like something exploded, but it seems that was not the case. So it could be that, don't know, some container fell down or something like that, but it was a really loud noise. And now when something in the background honks, screeches or something like that, I'm getting, don't know, I kind of want to go and take a look what happened there. Should we go for a modded ore detector and just go for an azimuth detector? Space only. Azimuth ore. Let us go for an azimuth ore detector and then just go with the... What is the right orientation for this one? I think it should be this one. Now let us put on the drills again. They should be turned this way and this way. And then see if Mart still works. That's the interesting bit. If the Mart script recognizes this as correct and hopefully works. Okay. Okay, the cameras I can still access, and Mart still works. Take a look. If I go and release this, I can use this thing. Neat. This is really neat. Can I still use the pistons? Work too, and the drills work too. So I made this thing. I made this thing now survival friendly. Let's say it that way. Friendly is the better word. It is better than survival ready. that was a struggle. Let's say it that way. It might be that I'm just too stupid to see how I could have just. Okay, is there an ore detector? Azimuth ore detector. Okay, let us go for, and we will not broadcast using antennas. I still have the 4,000 kilometer antenna, although we thought we fixed it yesterday. I like the design of this thing. Really, it's a really well done thing. I need to see if it is maybe unbalanced. And the other thing is I can remove this, the other one of these. I might be able to just remove it. Let us see if I can find something that we could drill out. I don't want to drill too close to the base, but maybe we can find a nice patch of land where we can maybe drill a bit, or one of these boulders or so. We'll be back in a second. We will try it on this patch of land. It's relatively far away from the base, and don't know. I will not get here often. It's too close to the hills, so the big rigs are not able to get here. And everything else, yeah, I might come here for. Okay, let us see. It drills. So what I saw in the video is that he basically presented that this thing can drill a groove in front of it, and then you can just drive into it and then keep drilling. But it seems that this is meant for the... Ooh, I like this concept. I really like this concept. It's a neat idea, and I'm not sure. I have two ideas for the big drilling rig. That would be something like, yeah, something like the mining machine. So something that I could bring up and then use the drills on it to just dig a hole straight down, or have something like this. The problem with this would be that it is just I'm not sure if it would work for the small the big scale. That's something that would have to be tested, but it could take a lot of time. I've downloaded the Mart script, so we can use it, but so I have another thing that I kind of have to bring up. I still have a code for eLitRom, eLitRom. It still hasn't answered my comment. If that isn't answered within a few days, I might give the code to someone else. So because I just cannot wait for you to answer in in days up until now, because the code basically is only functioning until the I think the April the 14th or 15th, and so this guy should maybe get to answering my comment. Okay, I think I'm using the wrong way to do this. Ooh, this whole thing is really going down, but I like it. I like the idea. One of these boulders were better. Something where I could just I don't know, drill into the side of it. Let me do a bit of a run and see if I can find one of these things. Did they also take away our boulders, the rocks lying around? I cannot find any. That's just wrong. I know that I had one here. I know that because I dug it out with still with the M-Armor-S on my big rig there, but this is just, I'm trying to find boulders. In the midst of it, I tried to re-establish modular encounter spawners into the game again. And there must have been something wrong with it, because after installing that, I kind of sat here and was driving around and said, okay, I should maybe, don't know if I can find anything interesting while driving around. So I said, that's a good idea. People said I could just bring that back in. It shouldn't be a problem. After I installed it, all my mods vanished. They were all gone. All the mods. And I tried G and there was nothing except the standard blocks. And I was, no, that can't stay that way. I was happy that I didn't have the blah, 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 or the autosave hadn't already kicked in. I logged out of the game without saving and removed it again. There seems to be a problem, people. Maybe you can educate me on that. I will drive back because one thing that this thing doesn't have is an antenna. I can see my after logging back in the 4,000 kilometer reaching ore detector is back in, and I want to turn it off. We turned it off yesterday, and that's the weirdest part. So I will put on an antenna, turn that off, and yeah, maybe I will search a bit more for that, maybe with, don't know, something faster and more stable than this thing here. But I want to put an antenna on. That's a thing we need to do, and there's a bit of space back here, so maybe I can just cram one into here, and then we will go, just to show you, we will go over to the the big rolling chassis that I've made there, so that we can take a look at that too. Let me go and get that back on, get this back on, terminal, turn the antenna on. I want to see something, if the mining machine ore detector is still, it is off, so I don't know what's detecting there, but then we will have to turn off the anchor system antenna again, and then it should be gone. It's gone. Good thing. I might have to fill in holes again here. That was not what I wanted to do, but this rolling chassis, again, at the moment it is nothing really special. I just took the 5x5 wheels and put some batteries on and some solar panels, so this thing can drive around, but I still have no clue what to do with it. So one of the ideas again is to have a bit of a cutout in the front or the back, and put maybe something like one of something similar to the mining machine on the alien planet on top of here, but maybe something that can move, so I can lay it flat or something like that. Have maybe something like some cargo containers on here, maybe refineries, so the advanced ones, to get rid of the stone, and just have a cockpit or a bridge or something, so we can steer it towards ore patches and drill in it. With the stones and the rocks kind of gone, the idea that I had was have this thing also be able to drill out these stones, and that's why I kind of had the idea to use this idea also, because then I could have a bit of a turret on here that has drills that we could maybe put out wider than put more pistons on it, so that it can go farther into the thing, and then use that to drill out. I'm not sure. Maybe that's also an idea that we could try to achieve. But again, it's something I haven't thought too much about. The only thing that I thought about is building this thing so I have that rolling already, and we can just start if we want. But now this thing is, at least I have a version of it that is at least survival again. It's not survival ready. What did I say? It's easier to bring into survival, so I will not post that or something like that, but that's the idea you might want to get from that. I will remove this one. This can just go, and then we will work on this one here a bit. Good. What is this on there? Okay, I have the on the HUD, so I can see which one is which. Show this, and then the antenna, reach, and good. Okay, now I can work with this and maybe, don't know, see if there are some rocks in the area. But I think that's all for today. We finished this thing, and that's, man, people, it's getting spring because people bring out their motorcycles and drive around with it, and some people have really loud ones here in the area. Good. We got this thing done, and yeah, that's nice. We could have a fleet of them also rolling around. I'm not sure. But good people, thanks for watching, I would say. Hope you liked the episode. If you did, then please leave a like on the video. Thanks to Tom, that's the guy that made this thing. I think it's a really, really great build. Again, it would be nicer if it would be survival ready, but that's not I think not really a thing you can do with subgrids on it. Good. Yeah, otherwise, people, just hope to see you in the next video, I would say. See ya, guys.